Here are 3 scary things that can happen at the end of life that are very normal and can be explained by me, a hospice nurse. Now, just because it's normal doesn't mean it's easy, but hopefully through education, it won't feel as scary. So number 1 is any kind of vomiting or projectile, anything out of the mouth that's black, brown, cream, foamy, any of those colors, green, can be normal. Doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. There's usually 2 reasons why. One is because our sphincters relax as we die. So when we die, all those sphincters that are keeping things in our gastric area will release, and they can sometimes come up through the mouth. That's when you usually see black, green, cream, or foamy stuff coming out of someone's mouth. The second reason why could be if there is a bowel obstruction, and a lot of times you can see things like foam, brown, sometimes even stool. Every once in a while, that rarely happens, but it can. Again, not easy, and it doesn't always happen, but it can happen. The second thing we can see is a lot of shaking or convulsing, twitching, their mouths doing strange things, people letting out a last scream at the end of life. Now, the twitching can happen because our electrolytes and chemicals in our blood can be off, so we can get some twitching with that. Also, if they're like convulsing, there can be some seizures at the end of life sometimes. Again, not always, but sometimes. It can happen especially if there's brain tumors or any kind of metastatic cancer to the brain. A lot of the facial movements or like the scream or the silent scream that people get really freaked out about, we are not actually sure why that's happening, but our bodies are just going through a very big transition. I wouldn't look at it as like your loved one doing it. I would look at it as their body making a transition. Especially if it's at the very last moment before they die, I wouldn't necessarily say it's from pain or from anything emotional. I think it's truly just the body fully shutting down. So lastly is blood. If the liver is involved in this person's diagnosis, that sometimes means that their blood is extra thin and doesn't really coagulate. So they can bleed easily. Nosebleeds, some blood in the stool, blood in the mouth, blood in saliva. Or if they're an alcoholic or have severe liver disease, they can get esophageal varices, which can erupt, and then they can have projectile blood from the mouth. This rarely happens, but it is very scary for loved ones, and it can be, just very scary. If this could be a possibility, we usually educate the family first, try to have the patient on dark sheets, have dark towels by the bedside, make sure they always call us if it starts happening. This education isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to normalize things that can happen at the end of life. Most of these things do not cause any pain, they just look scary.